ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिनि। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay. Chapter 18, verse 49. One who is self-controlled. So Krishna now has talked about work, action, performer in the three modes, all that. Now he's talking further. One who is self-controlled and unattached and who disregards all material enjoyments can obtain, by practice of renunciation, the highest perfectional stage of freedom from reaction. So this highest perfectional stage of freedom from reaction is basically this Brahma Bhuta. Which means that he can become liberated. So for which he has to be self-controlled. He should be unattached to whatever he is doing, and he should disregard all material enjoyments, meaning not give too much. Actually, don't bother about material enjoyments. Just do whatever is required for living, keeping body and soul together, and control only does whatever is right, whatever is does not do what is wrong as per Shastra, and is unattached to material things, family, etc., everything, whatever material. Seeing everybody on the transcendental platform, so that person can reach the sannyasena gacchati, sannyasa. So he will achieve the perfection of freedom from reaction, or this is paramam. Okay, sorry. Naishkarmya siddhim paramam. So the highest perfection he will achieve by sannyasa, by this renunciation. Okay. Learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage, Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge, by acting in the way I shall now summarize. So now this is a prerequisite. So one can attain the highest stage, for which he has to be self-control, unattached, and should disregard all material enjoyments. But now what should he do to achieve that Brahman stage? So this is the process for achieving Brahman stage. Being purified by his intelligence and controlling the mind with determination. Same thing he is explaining further, Krishna. Giving up objects of sense gratification, being freed from attachment, hatred, who lives in a secluded place, who eats little, who controls his body, mind, and power of speech, who is always in trance, who is detached, free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and acceptance of material things, free from false proprietorship, and peaceful. Such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self-realization. So these are the qualities of a Brahmabhuta. Brahmabhuyaya kalpate. Now, so one who can follow all these, he'll come to the stage of Brahmabhuta. Now, what does one achieve when one comes to Brahmabhuta? Right, this is the most important verse for us, right? So one who is thus transcendentally situated, Brahmabhuta Prasannatma, he realizes Supreme Brahman and he becomes joyful. Then na sochati na kankshati, never laments nor desires. Samasarveshu bhuteshu, equally disposed toward every living entity. Mad bhaktim labate param, he attains pure devotional service. They have told this multiple times. Bhakti means pure devotion only. There is nothing else. There is no other definition for bhakti. Bhakta means pure devotee. All other contaminations are just our doings. But Shastra is not talking about Mishra Bhakti, Mishra Bhakta and all that. So whenever there is a word bhakti, it means Kevala Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotion. So this Brahmabhuta for us is an intermediate stage. I've been talking about this, and this is something we should reach early, as early as possible. Basically, not lamenting, not desiring, equal to all jivas. And yes, all these different qualities are part of that. This no, not lamenting, not desiring, treating everybody equally. All of this will come if you analyze. So he's not living. He's not materially attached. Just his whole focus is to achieve Krishna. And so he's come to this Brahmabhuta stage, and then he achieves pure devotional service. Meaning, one who comes here only can make serious progress towards devotion, towards achieving Krishna. Why? Because otherwise, if we are still materially concerned, materially attached, then our attachment or absorption, our absorption will be material. But to achieve Krishna, we need to absorb ourselves in Krishna. So one has to come to this Brahmabhuta stage of indifference towards this material life. It's indifference because he's come to the stage of transcendence, spiritual platform, seeing himself as soul, seeing everything as, on the spiritual platform in connection with Krishna, seeing everything material as just something to be used in Krishna's service. So he's come to the spiritual platform, and now he will achieve platform of pure devotion. Meaning he will then make progress. So this is in our various stages of bhakti, Adav, Shraddha, Tata, Sadhu Sangha, Tata Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta. So when we come to Nishta, Nishta is this Brahmabhuta, then Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. But if we don't come to Brahmabhuta, then we cannot make progress, and we cannot achieve Prema. Okay, any questions on this? I've discussed this multiple times, but still. Okay. And who can understand Krishna? Bhaktya Mama Vijanati. Only by devotional service. Yavanesh Chasmi Tattvataha. In truth, who can understand? Only a devotee can understand. Only by devotion. Tato Mam Tattvato Gnatva Vishade Tadanantaram. And when Gnatva, when he comes in this, when he comes to know about Krishna, then what does he do? Vishade Tad. He enters the supreme kingdom of God. So this is the result. So from Brahmabhuta, one comes to pure devotion, then one understands Krishna. Then in full consciousness of him, he enters the spiritual kingdom. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee under my protection, Mad Vyapashrayah, Mad Prasadad, by my grace, Shashvatam Padam Avapnoti. He reaches the eternal, imperishable abode by my grace. So the important part is here Krishna's grace. And we are under Krishna's protection, which means that we are surrendered souls. To be under Krishna's protection means to be completely dependent on him, sold out. We should be sold out to him. Then under his protection. Why protection? Because there are so many things to distract us, pull us away from Krishna, from this path of perfection. So Krishna will protect us. Sometimes Krishna will protect us, pull us, and then we'll fall down. But all that Krishna is doing is just fall down, meaning, we might go through some difficulties in life, but all that Krishna is doing just to protect our bhakti. Please understand this. Actually, this is one thing. If we can understand, we will never lose faith in Krishna and we will make progress. This example of a devotee who went to Krishna when he was in a lot of trouble. He went to Krishna and said, Krishna, you please help me. Krishna said, okay, no problem. I'll be with you all the time. And the devotee checks that. So devotee is walking, then He can see his footsteps, and then on the side, then there are one more set of footsteps which are of Krishna. And then one time devotee goes into so much of trouble that everybody gives him up. Then he's only seeing one set of footprints. In his bewilderment, he thinks that Krishna has also given him up. He goes to Krishna and asks, saying that, Krishna, what is this? I came to you for protection. Krishna said, you are so fallen. You are like not even able to walk. You are in such a horrible state that I am actually lifting you, and it's not your footsteps, it's my footsteps. Right? So Krishna doesn't give up on his devotee. Once we go to him, that's it. We need to have the faith, saying that, yes, okay, this has happened to me, but this is just Krishna's mercy on me. And Krishna is there with me. He's protecting me. He's taking care of me. And I've been saying this multiple times. Progress in devotional service is a matter of our faith in Krishna. Because Krishna is not going to come and suddenly, stand in front of us and say, okay, see, I'm here. Okay, now you have faith. He's not going to show up to our eyes. But he's there. And if we have trust in him, Krishna will reciprocate accordingly. If we don't have trust in him, Krishna will reciprocate accordingly there also. And it's all about faith. Sometimes devotees have some issues, challenges, etc. Now, if they have faith, then they will come to somebody, right, whom they have faith in, saying that, okay, if I go to this devotee, he or she can help me out and give me guidance, give me direction. It's a matter of faith. That's why I tell devotees, saying, if you have faith, do any devotee, in my preaching areas, I'll say, if you have faith, you come to me. Otherwise, you please go to anybody you have faith. Important thing is that you have to go. Don't be by yourself. Right? Because different people might have faith in different devotees, which is perfectly fine. But the important thing is that they should go. And that is a sign of faith. And that is actually Krishna himself reciprocating through those devotees, if they are sincere, etc. Right? So we should have this faith that Krishna is there, Krishna will take care. And we should also remember, saying that, see, for all this, coming to Brahmabhuta, all that, we should be in this humble state of mind, saying that I am worthless. Unfortunately, even after many years of devotion, many devotees think that they are something great. Neither materially nor spiritually we would have actually accomplished anything major. But somehow that false ego is still there, saying that I am something. How can somebody deal with me like this? How can somebody talk to me like this? That is not humility, and we cannot make progress. We cannot get here. We cannot think about all these things at all. See, how will we depend on Krishna? Krishna is saying, in all activities, just depend on me. How will we depend on Krishna if we have false ego? That I am something. And Krishna wants to first see us give up our pride, give up our, this false ego, right? So then only we can depend on him. Kirtan Trinadapi Sunichena Taroravi Svishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadaharhi. How can one always think about Krishna, glorify Krishna, when he stops thinking about himself? That is Trinadapi. So Krishna is saying, always depend on me, always work under my protection. And be full machita satatam bhava. So be always in consciousness of me, full consciousness of me. This is Buddhi Yoga Avapya, Upashritya. Take shelter of Buddhi Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. And be in full consciousness of me. Machchitta Sarva Durgani Mat Prasada Tarishyasi. Very, very important. Machchitta, if you are in my consciousness of me, Sarva Durgani, all difficulties, Mat Prasada, by my mercy, you will conquer, you will go, pass over. Tarishyasi. You will pass over, you will cross. Atachetvam ahankaran na shosyasi vinangshasi. But if however, because of ahankara, false ego, if you don't do that, if you don't do what I'm saying, then you won't hear, without hearing me, if you just do whatever you want, vinangshasi, you will be lost in this material world. Again, he is talking about ahankara. See, yad ahankaram ashritya na yotsya iti manyase. If you do not act according to my direction, because of your ahankara, then you will be falsely directed, and because you will anyway have to engage in warfare because of your nature. Under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction, but compelled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same. So we have a nature and we will act in a particular way. We have to make sure that we act, we do that, we use that in Krishna's service. Otherwise, we'll anyway act because of our nature. And if we act for sense gratification, for our own happiness, then we might end up doing something wrong and just trouble ourselves. Instead, just do everything for Krishna's pleasure. Understand if that is going to give pleasure to Krishna or not, and do it. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani maya. Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. So this body is our machine and just wandering here, there, aimlessly for so many lives. So surrender unto him. So Krishna is saying here, surrender unto Paramatma. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Now, this doesn't mean that one who has come to Krishna should go and surrender to Paramatma. This is for those who can't surrender to Krishna. Krishna is saying, okay, surrender to Paramatma. He is there in your heart. And he is Anumanta Upadrashta. He is guiding you. You surrender into him, follow his instructions, then you will attain eternal peace, transcendental peace. And eventually you will attain the supreme and eternal abode. Because he will, by that consciousness, one will then come to Krishna and surrender to him. So this is still more confidential gnana. Pure devotion, surrendering to Krishna, all this. So Krishna is saying now, Vimrushyaitad asheshena yatechasi tatakuru. Now deliberate on this and do what you wish to do. I am not going to force you. So which is also very important. See, when we hear what Krishna is saying, what other devotees are telling us, guiding us, etc., they are not going to force us to do things. They are going to tell us for our welfare. If we want, we can follow. Otherwise, up to us. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confident knowledge of all. Again, Krishna is saying, this is the most confidential knowledge. Man mana bhav mad bhakto. Become my devotee. Madhyaji. Worship me. Maam namaskuru. Offer your obeisances to me. Maam eva ishyasi. Maam eva. You will come to me. Satyam te. I promise you this. Why? Pratijane priyosi me. Because you are my dear, very dear friend. So this is what we have to do finally. Manmana bhavat bhakto madhyaji maam namaskar. And then Mama Vaishyasi, then we'll go to Krishna. But what is required to do that? Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam shanam rajam tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. And so we discussed this multiple times. And idam te na tapaskaya. And this confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere. Na bhaktaya, who are not devoted. Or engaged in devotional service. Not one who is envious of Krishna. We should not explain this pure devotional service. But then Prabhupada in the purport says that devotees are more merciful than Krishna. And so they will go ahead and explain. They will tell about all this. And Krishna is okay with it. He is not upset with devotees when devotees go and reveal this knowledge. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. You know, this was my major drive for starting to preach seriously. For coming to or even thinking of preaching. I said like, okay, I'm useless, worthless. Because in Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says that one who can sit on the Vyasasana, who has read all the Shad-darshanas, he can defeat that, non-theistic philosophies, etc. Then I asked once His Grace Vidwan Gauram Prabhu, saying that Prabhu, I'm not qualified, but still I'm being asked to sit on Vyasasana. What should I do? He said it's okay. It's like a little water in the desert. Some water is, is better than no water, so it's okay. So then I knew that I am not really qualified at all to do this. But then when I read this verse, I said, no, it's okay. Somehow Krishna is telling, somehow I'll just engage somehow in his service. So please take up preaching, not with the mood of thinking that I am better than other devotees. Because every time we read Bhagavad Gita in the association of devotees, every time we will get new realizations. So it's just by their mercy, like by all your mercy, I'm able to get into the depths of this knowledge even more, because Krishna reveals. When we are discussing like this, something that I had never thought ever for all these years just comes to my mind. So it's just Krishna's mercy that we are trying to explain the supreme secret, but actually that supreme secret is actually being revealed to us only first, then shared with others. So we'll be greatly benefited. And pure devotional service is guaranteed. And the end we will come. So how can a preacher be a mixed devotee? Can't be. Has to be a pure devotee. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. See, what more do you want? And these statements should drive us, saying that I want to become dear to Krishna. So what do I need to do? I need to preach. Okay, done. And we don't prevent anybody from preaching. Everybody should preach in their own circles, people, relatives, friends. There might be some rules on who can sit on a Vyasasana, etc. But that has nothing to do with whether anybody can. Everybody is allowed to preach. Everybody should preach. And we are getting this great opportunity to take this knowledge to the world, which is Marathon, which is coming up very soon. We're all preparing for it, and I hope that everybody here on this group participates actively. Now, I know many devotees here who are not actively part of, at least some of devotees who are part of Hulimahu and Vijayanagar. They don't have any option. Fortunately or unfortunately, they are forced to be part of this. They are given targets. Okay, but others who are not, you have to inspire yourself to do, and I can be of whatever little service I can be, I will definitely be. But you have to engage yourself. There is no other option, right? I mean, only then we are going to get mercy. And if in case, when I'm going to announce the teams soon next week, if your name is not there, which basically means that I didn't think that you have the interest to go out for book distribution. But if you think, no, now till last year I was like that, now I'm going to do book distribution, please let me know, we'll add. Don't have to feel offended. The reason is we are also not pulling devotees into services which they are not comfortable in. While there's no question about not being comfortable in book distribution, because that is the one thing which pleases Prabhupada the most. But still, we respect devotees, their own desires and so on. But please understand that without this, we can't get mercy. We have to preach. We have to preach. He who studies the sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. So continuously we have to keep reading Bhagavad Gita. One who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions. See, just simply by hearing. But we have to understand, right? We have to understand this. So this is also one more attempt we are trying to do, is to, through small books, we are trying to create some interest among people to read Prabhupada's book. So we are creating some kind of program, some to encourage devotees to read. And one can then attain to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. So simply by listening, even if you don't want pure devotional service, you can go to Swarga, right? By just simply listening with faith. And so now Krishna is asking, have you heard this with an attentive mind? Has your ignorance gone? Arjuna says, yes. Nashtam moho smritir labdva. My illusion is gone. I've regained my memory. Karishye vachanam tava. I will do as you say. I'm firm and free from doubt. Sthitosmi, Gata Sandeha. Sthitosmi, I'm fixed now, I'm firm. Gata Sandeha, all my doubts are cleared. Karishya Vachanam Tava, I will do as you say. Not that, okay, I'm still, let me think, Krishna, you said all these things look very difficult for me. So many things you are saying, let me see. Okay. Krishna says, okay, up to you. Whenever you want to come, you come, I'm waiting. But the surrendered soul says, Karishya Vachanam Tava. Whatever instructions Krishna you're giving in Bhagavad Gita, I'm taking. I will follow. How much ever difficult it is. Those who are not fully surrendered, they will take time and come. No problem. But eventually we have to come here. We have to understand this. Karishya Vachanam Tava. Sanjay is saying, thus I heard the conversation with two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna. So wonderful is that message. My hair is standing on it. Literally, if we enter into the, especially, when Krishna is speaking and he's giving clear direction, these things are very dear to me. This type of devotee is dear to me. Do this, do that, what can we expect? I mean, people who have read Vedas can't come to this clarity about understanding about what they need to do in life. Krishna and Srila Prabhupada so mercifully is just like, is just spoon feeding us. Unfortunately, even this spoon feeding is not good enough for Kali Yuga people, right? So we have to further, enable this consumption of this content, right? But it's so simple and direct. By the mercy of Vyasa, so Sanjaya is, acknowledging his guru. I have heard these most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, Yogeshwara, was speaking personally to Arjuna. No, King, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. See, we should reach this stage when we become thrilled by the message of Bhagavad Gita. We think, same thing, Bhagavad Gita. So much there is in unknown depth. Can just go on and on and on. And Sanjay is saying, as I remember the wonderful form of Krishna, I'm struck with wonder more and more. And I rejoice again and again. See, when we read this, don't we feel like we should also, I also want to see the wonderful form of Krishna. That desire should come in our heart. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanuttaraha, Tatra Srir Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. So where there is Krishna, who is Yogeshwara, where there is Arjuna, who is the Dhanurdharaha, supreme archer, Tatra Shrir, opulence, Vijaya, victory, extraordinary power. What is extraordinary power? Wow. Niti is morality. Bhuti, okay, Bhuti is exceptional power, and morality are there. This is my opinion. So Sanjaya is saying that and concluding the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so we all went through. So if there are any questions, comments. We are inclined more towards one type of preaching like book distribution than for a group of people sitting on Vyasa, and that also considered. Yes, of course. We should preach. According to our propensity, we should preach. Not everybody, like I said, there are also restrictions on who can sit on Vyasasana. But there is no restriction on who can distribute books. Everybody should distribute books. And this distribution, we have to go to the next level. We are still just starting. And like you should get inspired by hearing about His Grace Mahotsav Prabhu and Krishna Life Team. What we try to do in the whole year, he will possibly do in 1 month or maybe few days in marathon. He just distributes Bhagavatam sets like water. And there was one interview and he said, I'm just surrendered to my guru's instructions, that's all. And I sincerely try. We ourselves put constraints on our own ability, thought process. We just think, no, how is this possible? We just have to have faith in Guru's words and we can achieve anything. Okay. Any comments? We finished Bhagavad Gita. Nothing? Okay, then we'll close. I'll let you know if we are going to have class tomorrow day after, because I might have some cooking service at home, so I'll let you know.